I'm in. Hello, guys. Right. Let's make myself comfortable. There we go. Is there anybody out there? And can you hear me? And more importantly, can you hear the trains? Let's see what we get. Is there anybody out there? Ben, where are you when I need you? Chris, Vallis, where are you? Robert's train set, where are you? Al! Hello, Al. Now, Al, I'm going to depend on you here because you're the first in. Can you hear the trains in the background? Hello, Peter. Can you hear the trains in the background? It'd just be the sound of the clickety-clack. Slightly. Okay. Right, let's try this then. I'll get the webcam and I'll put it next to the track and we'll see what we can get then. Here we go. There we go. Right. Coming round, class 153. '57's coming around. Now you should hear this because I put it right next to the points. Turn out. How does that sound? Works nicely, great. Trends Kits, hello. Yeah, I'm sort of, until I play this back, you're going to have to tell me what you can hear. You can hear the trains passing, no issue, that's good. Because the last time we tried this, which was last Sunday, we couldn't hear anything of the trains. No matter how close I put it to the track, it was almost impossible to hear anything. And I put it right next to one of the most prominent joints in the track, which does make a hell of a clickety-clack. Right, here we go. Let's see what this sounds like. Hello, Ben. Right, have a listen to this when it comes past. Okay, Ben, what do you think? Oh, great. Okay. This is what I was after. You see, the problem isn't really in YouTube Studio. It's actually in the computer itself and what governs your audio, your mics, your speakers, everything like that. Now, there's a little suite of gear in here, which is called Realtek Audio. And that's governing what's going on. on the computer before it ever gets to live streaming or to whatever platform you're working on. And it's important that you set up that in the computer first, because if you go on that, it will tell you what your bit rate is, and it will tell you how many bits that it's going to be broadcasting at, and it's something like 44.1 kilobits of information per second. Like that's sort of hertz. So you've got cycles per second and 16-bit, and that is what you would what the industry uses as CD quality. Apparently, it's the frequency has got to be double what you hear, and the maximum that you're going to hear is something like 18 kilohertz, something like that. So it's got to be double plus a bit. Have I missed anybody come into the chat? I think you were the last one, Ben. Can you hear me okay? Hello, Danny. Nice to have you aboard, mate. Cop this, Danny. You can hear me fine, and you can hear the trains. Well, that's good. Now, I'm just running DC, guys. So if I bought, for example, a Deltic or a 56 down here, stuck it on DCC and let that rip, you would really, really hear it then, because it's really... Oh, great. That's brilliant. My cup runneth over, as they say. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I think those are the slam door Mark IIIs that GWR had. That's a Bachmann 153. And coming around now is Class 57 in GWR. I think that's Tintagel Castle. Let's slow it down a bit. Here we go. I've slowed the wrong one down. What an arsehole. Sorry about that. Right, okay. So at least we're finally over the hump. I mean, it's difficult for somebody who's never done live streams to sort of jump on board. The problems I've seen with other people doing it is that they get hold of StreamYard or OBS and then thought, oh, okay, I'll just do a basic setup and go live. And then all of a sudden, half of the things that they want to do, like speak to people, doesn't work. Or they're speaking through water or sound like a Dalek. And it just highlights other things. It highlights any deficiencies that your PC has got. I'm directing to YouTube, yes. Yeah, I am bad, yeah. With me, it's baby steps. I don't do anything unless I can fully master it first. And that's just using the most basic thing, which is YouTube Studio. Yeah, that's been a great help getting that webcam. See, I wasn't even sure I could use an alternate webcam in YouTube Studio, which I can, because as soon as I plugged that into the USB and tried a live, it took over, and the little light comes up on it, and great, okay. But then I started to get the audio issues where I couldn't hear anything of the background at all. And in this Realtek suite of audio preferences in your computer, there's also a little click button there which says something in the order of AI noise reduction. And if you turn that off, all of a sudden you can hear a pin drop. But yes, I am directing to YouTube. You just popped up. Danny, do I take it you've got a video up on YouTube with something about lights? Is that right, Al? A pro streamer soon, gamer chair, PC full of LEDs before you know it. Well, that I don't know about. That's more my son's sort of thing, gaming and that kind of stuff. I mean, to him, it's he can do it in seconds and doesn't even seem to have to think about it. Yeah, we might live under the same roof, but our minds are obviously into different things, except when it comes to railways, of course. What I suggested to Richard to do was to get his PC up here, which is a really powerful gaming PC, and try that. But I don't think he was keen on that for one reason or another. So he just got me the webcam, which is very nice of him. Adding street lights. Oh, okay. I'll check into that when I actually get some dinner. I mean, it was freezing up here when I came into the shed this morning. I mean, it was really misty outside. The air's quite dank. Nothing's been burnt off yet, and it's still misty out there. I've been messing with Prism this morning. It's actually dead easy to set up. I need to get a good webcam in the order of 1080p, 60 frames a second. Well, you probably know what this is running at better than I do. This is a 1080p camera, but I've got a feeling I'm not sure it's 60 frames a second. I think it's probably more like 30. Yeah, that's half the problem, Ben. My laptop camera was pumping it out in something like 410 or 420, something like that, 4:3 aspect, and the sound was okay, but nothing to write home about. Just popped up. Okay, yeah, I'll check into that later. Have you been up to anything recently, Peter? I must admit, I do find it quite absorbing trying to keep up with everybody's bits and pieces that they're doing and updates on layouts and live streams and everything. You could have a full-time job just watching it. Right, I'll switch the camera around, give you a slightly different aspect. I'll take the camera about as far as I can away, and then we'll test what you're picking up of my voice where I put it. Okay, ready, guys? Sorry about the jump, but here we go. I'll try and do it as smooth as possible. If I turn this around, sorry, I just can't see even what I'm looking at. Right, now I'm not sure you can even hear me now, but tell me how that is, guys. Can you still hear my voice? Hey, Mick at Edgeley Park Station. Hello, Mick. How's your beer, mate? Boiling here, sun is shining as well. Bloody hell, where do you live? Brighton? You're plotting a silly 24-hour layout build video. See how fast something good can be thrown together. Well, that's the important thing, good. As long as it's good, it doesn't matter how slow or fast it takes you, as long as you don't take your foot off of the quality. Yeah, I sound a little distant. I've got the actual microphone pointing away from me, Ben. So you're probably hearing the sound coming off of the back scene. Still clear though, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I watch quite a few guitar channels and like luthiers taking necks off guitars and making modifications. And some of them do actually do a 24-hour build, which is extremely difficult on something like a guitar, where the wood that they're cutting takes some time to sort itself out. But it's really difficult to build a guitar in 24 hours. It really is. Right, let's do another. I'll do another movement, and let's see what happens this time. Here we go. Oh, that's a golden oldie. That one comes off a. Hang on, that's more like it. That's a off a signal. A scratch signal, but nevertheless. All right, here we go. All right, this is difficult without a little tripod. We'll see what we can do. Here I am, guys. Now you should hear me a whole lot better now. I'll be doing 5-hour streams. Those are quite problematic. Yeah, Crimson Guitars. Yeah, Ben Crow, his name is. Yeah, with he's got a bald head with lots of tattoos on it, and he's got this interesting South African lilt in his voice as well, which is great. Yeah, he's quite a personality. Can you hear me better now? I gather you probably can because I've got line of sight now. As for 5-hour streams, Mick, I don't think so. There it goes. And here comes the 57. The last acoustic you built took 3 months, 2 weeks to do most of it, 2.5 months to get the motivation to put the frets in and dress them. Yeah, that is a bit of a faff, particularly if you go down something like stainless steel route. But I gather they're probably just nickel silver. It can sound really good. That's what I've been heading towards. The only problem is I don't even think I've got anything DCC down here to try at the moment. We'll try that on Sunday, I think. That'll be a bit of an extra test, but it might just blow your ears off. So, but at least that's something I can change on the computer rather than on the live stream. I mean, it obviously means a bit of pouncing around, but yeah, I maxed out the microphone, stuck that at 99% or whatever it was, and on top of that, I cancelled the noise reduction. Hello, Jason. I hope you can hear me okay. Everybody else seems to be responding, so that should sound fairly good. Yeah, the mic settings were actually in the computer rather than on the platform that you're broadcasting on. So if that's the case, that happens before it ever gets to the platform. Good, loud and clear. Okay. Well, that's what I was after. I did a live stream on Sunday, Jason, and even put in the camera, which has got the mics on it, right next to the track. I couldn't hear the click clack at all. I gather you can hear the clickety clack. This is just basic DC, but we couldn't hear it no matter how close I put it to the track, even on the ones where the joints are slightly further apart. Just couldn't hear a thing. The noise cancelling was so good that all of the background noise was just exterminated. So, and all you could hear was voice. That's all. Yeah, good. You can hear the trains. Yeah, that's really what I was after. I don't really want it to be overpowering, but it's a feature of running model trains, and you know it's nice to hear it, as well as some Burke like me waffling on. Right, anybody for a tour of the layout? Which webcam do I have? It's a Hewlett Packard 1080p. I could give you the number, but I'd have to, why not? Okay. Right, well, let's start where you are, which is looking down, what would I call that? The fiddle yard. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lane fiddle yard, marshalling yard, whatever you'd like to call it. Right, I'm just going to grab the camera, so try not to vomit, guys. What just fell? Oh, nothing of any consequence. Here we go. Right, here's the lift out section. If you wanted to get out the door and you really wanted to get something big in or big out, and that does come apart, but it's a bit of a faff to try it. Past the computer. This is sort of the little workbench. It's just, I don't know, 10 inches of bare wood that we mess around with locos on. The toolbox is right there, which has got all measure of bits and pieces, things like tweezers, cutters, top cutters, center punch for driving in your track spikes and things like that. I see so many people whacking away at tacks going into the track, and sure enough, you're going to hit the rails one time or another. I don't know how much damage that'll do. Right, okay. Coming into the fiddling yard, the marshalling yard, whatever you want to call it, it's a double slip. That's all sort of code 100. Just a basic install rod, that one. That one there, that's the tightest of the points I've got on the layout. This is all streamlined. I didn't use anything set track, but it's still got a radius of something like 26 inches, something like that. It's quite generous for train sets and things. Right, you've got a 2-track outside main line. Oh look, Jason, there's the trees that I won on your Christmas bonanza. Thank you very much for those. I'll just extricate the cable. I'm sorry guys, I can't look at the chat at the moment. We'll just do a quick tour. Right, over here. No, it's not static grass, that's off a mat with a few cows. Vaccine. Here comes the turntable. This one is, I took all the motoring and gears out of it, and this one just turns by hand. So the good old fashioned method, I'll just give you a demo. Oh, can't think about. Right, yeah, it's just like that. And then just line it up with your finger. Hey presto, it's done. Right, moving over there. That's a China Clay Dries, which is a Kerno Bachmann Syncraft resin jobby with the smoke coming out the top. Right, there's a couple of little exits off the turntable, and of course a throat that goes in and comes back to there, which is the it's not a crossover. What is it? Yeah, one of them. Right, moving swiftly around. Here's a TMD with class 37 inside. Now I do have a switch underneath. I can just reach that. Which I'll move that out of the way. There's the welder. And fixed to that also is a couple of yard lights. And here is the room for Network Rail engineers. There is the fueling station, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes here. Moving swiftly on, here's just the control desk, which is just bits and pieces, various points and bits and bobs. Right, I'm just going to duck under the cable. Right. Okay, over here again, more lights which are all interconnected together. There's a small signal box, and I'll pan around to the main station, which is over there. I'm about as far as I can reach at the moment with this cable, but effectively you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of traffic there that you can use. The station is, again, it's the Syncraft station from the Great Central Railway. Is it Cornwall Woodstock or something like that? With a Great Western overbridge right over the back, and then coming back onto the main over there. Again, we've got another double slip right here, which is literally a throat and a back shunt. That little siding goes off around there, and that, interestingly enough, is the only place I've used any set track, and that's that bit right there, and that's really quite tight. I can't remember if that's radius 2 or radius 3, but that's the only hard bit of track I've got in here. The rest of it is all flexi. Right, let's get you set up. There we go. Track pin with a sledgehammer. Yeah, very nice. Oh, we've got H&H Express. Hello, hi. Nice to see you. Okay, so that's pretty much a tour of the layout. It's is it based on anything? No, not really. Things I've seen over the years, going back to year dot. I always fancied something a little further out than a train set, where you're constricted by these really tight curves, had to have something wider so you could run everything, including the American stock, which some of their carriages, like the Walthers carriages, it says on the box, minimum radius 25 inches. So if you then, I used that as a basis and thought, right, okay, bigger than 25. And that knocked out most of what you can use for proprietary track. So then it had to be Pico and it had to be streamlined track. So there you go. What makes the signals? They are actually KR signals, but apparently I think KR have had a bit of trouble with employees leaving and things like that, and they've more or less not stopped making signals, but perhaps they're just not, they're only making them in batches. But they are KR signals, and underneath the boards that control them are made by Heathcote Electronics, and there's one board per signal. One of them is a mass sequencer, and the others are Erdask 4s, I think. Now, interestingly, all that ballast I put in with copy decks, all of it, with something like a syringe, and it took ages, but I wanted it to be flexible. Let's just, I can come over here to there. Now, I hope you can see that. The whole thing is spongy. And that was really what I was after. I thought, well, why do you put something that's going to deaden the sound under the track, then cover it in PVA, which is going to set rock hard with ballast on it? Then that's just going to stop everything that you're trying to do. So I wanted to keep it flexible, and that's why I used the copy decks. Plus, it allows the track to flex a bit, not only the metal work, but also the sleepers as well. And it's not impossible to pull up because it's only cohesive. It's not really adhesive with plastic. So that was my thinking behind it. Oh, you're off, Al. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Got to get your hair cut. Yeah, right. Okay. Super. Roy, Dennis. Hello, Roy. Nice to see you. I noticed the last time you did a video, Roy, you had your coat on, and I think you were suffering the cold a bit. Am I right? Okay, Mick. Thanks for coming. Always enjoy having your input. Have a beer for me. Right, I'm back. I just need a bit of tissue to wipe my nose because it's not hot up here and it's not sort of cold, but it feels a bit damp, I think the word is. Yes, that's regular DC. The thing is, I can run DC or DCC, but not both. So it's on literally on the flick of a switch, and then I can open up all of the lines where you've got isolation. You've got to have isolation with DC. So when I flick DCC on, I can literally keep some DC locos on the track and just isolate them, and then run DCC. As soon as DCC hits the DC motor, you can hear it buzzing and it's going to heat it. So, no, not good. Don't do that. Yeah, how long have I been going now? Half an hour. Well, we'll run it run it around for, I don't know, another 15 minutes, and then I've got to get something to eat because I'm starving. But I'm grateful to everyone that's come in and given me a bit of input. It was important to get the mics sorted out because, well, you could only hear voices, and you've got all this action on the track, that your ears are telling you nothing of what's going on orally. You just had lunch. Hi. Oh, I see. Okay. Whereabouts are you, Hi? Because I think you're an hour ahead of us. Yes, I'll bet you didn't stay out there long, Roy. It did look a bit chilly. As I say, I'm out in a shed, so it's a matter of get the heater on for 10 or 15 minutes before you step in. Yeah, otherwise you'd be able to hear my teeth chattering. Right, would anybody like to see the HST do a trip around? Is that a stunned silence? I don't know how much delay there is on this. I know on yours, nice shot. Okay, all right. I'll give it a whiz. Let me just deal with the niceties of it. Here we go. Right, speed you up a bit. We're just going to have to concentrate for a minute, guys. So, right. And back in you go. Right, that's the 153 off the main line, and isolated, and the points are set. Now, with this one, I'm going to have to back it out. So, I want that one set there, that one set open, and I want reverse set up, and I need to open up the right, I'll just stop that there, swing that back off, close that one, reverse, and here we go. Right, we're ready, guys. It's coming round. Here we go. Sorry, that was a bit of a photo bomb there. I'll keep the HST quite slow. Speed it up a bit until we get to there. Right, you should be able to see it coming into shot now. There we go. Yeah, right, okay, Ben, yeah. I think you might have to translate that one. Great. When it says a lighting upgrade, Danny, was this on the layout or was this in a locomotive or? Don't have to give a complete spoiler because I will watch it. Right, let's have a bit more speed. I wait until the 57 comes past. Very nice. Ah, super. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to try and remember the lingo, particularly if it's something good. Yeah, unfortunately we've got a bit of photo bombing there. Street lights added for the first time to the town scene to go with the lights added to the buildings. Right on. Okay. Hello, James. Nice to see you. For you, it is morning. For us, it's early afternoon. Thanks for the live stream yesterday. Very enjoyable. Well, did I say yesterday? What I meant is today, actually, because that was pretty early. Yeah, running a bit of British Great Western Railway stock. High-speed train going past there. And coming the other way, class 57, pulling more of Great Western Railway stock. I did promise I was going to do it, so I'm as good as my word. So you're in the States, James. You should be able to hear all the clickety-clack now that I've turned off the noise reduction. How long is the track? Oh, okay. Well, down this way and that way, that's 12 feet and 8 feet across. So, what would it be? I'd say on the outside track where the HS2 is going around, that's going to be about 30 feet all the way around. James, you're in Canada. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I loved Canada when I went there. Yeah, I went to Toronto and I thought that was just amazing. That was, that really was something. I enjoyed every second of being in Canada. Don't tell Sparky though. Oh, hi, you're in the Netherlands. Oh, okay. Yes. So you're not far up or down the road from Jean Ricard, who's in Denmark. Yeah. So it just shows you what an international flavour the railway community is. Well, I'll just slow these down a little. We have control. That's it. Because when they do run fast, they're obviously making quite a bit of a row. A Newfoundlander. Oh, okay. So you're in the nearest spot to where the Titanic sank. Not that it's not famous for other things as well, of course. Yes, I will check out your channel, H&H Express. Hi, I will. Do I take it it's got a American flavour? Near the German border. Oh, okay. Yes, I tend to switch up. I try and alternate between different genres of railway. Perhaps a Great Western Railway then we'll run a British Railways black and what's the word? It's not crimson. It's maroon colour, like British Railways were back in the 50s. And then you might have a British Railways blue of the 70s, and then you've got sectorisation. There's all these different slices of railways, and I try and mix it up so things don't get boring, particularly for me, because if I'm not excited about it, how can you then spread the gospel to anyone else? You run Dutch and German trains. The layout is not prototypical. Even the most prototypical layout will still have some misgivings in there. Nothing is ever perfectly the way people remember it, and photographs and video don't reveal everything. So real perfection is that's sort of Valhalla. Yes. I'm not sure there's anything prototypical here. It's just a shed in Hertfordshire where I've just whatever was in my mind at the time just came out. So it is what it is, really. It's a little reflection of all of us and what we put into our railways, which is good. You've got to have some expression, otherwise we'll all go mad. James, you're working on a new layout and it's in the planning stages. Is this planning electronically, or are you using pad and paper, the good old-fashioned method? 114 feet of track. Is that continuous running height, or is that end to end? Actually, I saw there's a video on there by, I think it was a Dutch videographer who had, they were running some of the heritage units in Holland, and it was very similar to one of the early diesel streamliners in the States. It had this bulbous front bit. You'll probably be able to tell me what that is. But this bulbous sort of cockpit, if you like, where the driver sat, sitting right atop. And it was really attractive chunk of railway. I really liked it, but I didn't take note of what it was. Well, take it slowly, James, and try and think it through. You've probably been doing model railroading long enough to know exactly what you've got to do, when you've got to do it, how you've got to do it. And if you're trying anything new, the problem with that is you spend so long wondering if you could do it, you never stop to think whether you should. Mr. Dodge, greetings to you, sir. How are you? I gather that's, and what time is it here? It's 12:46 here. So you're early morning. Early morning. How was breakfast? You haven't had it yet? Good heavens, man. You can't run on air alone. Well, I can, because I'm producing enough hot air. Probably more hot air than the Chinese balloon. There's some similar style electric units still around. Hang on. The Dutch train you mentioned is called the Koplopper. I like that. That is a great name. You work out first, then you eat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. For me, working out is a run around the block. Little wooden block on the floor, and I run around it. Yeah. The problem with that is, Anthony, I can quickly put myself in the red if I do that. I've got to eat something, let that settle, then exercise. Otherwise, yeah, that's all a bit reverse for me. Otherwise, I put myself in the red rather fast. Mainly because I can burn calories just by lifting my arm over my head. That's why I've never put on any weight. It's just a matter of as soon as I move, I'm burning. Six turning, four burning. But typical usually ends up condensing everything. There is enough room for 1 mile of track. Yes, yeah, that's true. Well, High's got enough room. Mind you, even 100 feet is, yeah, that's probably what, 3/4 of a mile off the top of my head. 7:45. Crumbs, James, you're up early. Yes, I must admit I'm getting used to this retirement lark. This is great, being able to sit here and play trains whenever I want to. Five 20. Start at work at 6 a.m. Oh, struth. I think the earliest I've ever started work on an everyday basis was 6:30. Where when I became a school caretaker and had to get there 6:30 in the morning to start things going, and I found that really tough. Plus, because the school I was working at then was 2 miles away, and I cycled it, so that was quite a bit of energy. You was like that. Now you need to move to keep the weight down. You know, that's one of those odd things that everybody said to me. When you get to 40, you're going to pile on the pounds. Well, it didn't happen. And 20 years later, it still hasn't happened. So, am I lucky or am I a freak? I don't know. You're retired now, James. Yeah, good. Good on you. Good on you. The difficulty is being able to afford to retire because, well, you know the way things are in the world at the moment. Okay, hi. Your table is 9 feet by 5 feet. Oh yes, I'm thinking your N gauge or N scale, whatever you want to call it. N scale trains, yes. 9 feet by 5 feet. It's got an upper deck for the train yard. Yeah, I can dig that. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I dispelled having a double decker in here. It wasn't what I had in my head. And I only would have went down that road if I'd have thought of it first. And it never appealed to me. So we try not to keep anything of value in the shed. Obviously, apart from the control gear, which is an NCE power cab, you can replace that for 200 quid. But once I'm finished here, we tend to pack it all down unless I know I'm going to use it again the next day or so. So that keeps the security aspect manageable. You used to get up at 5, get to work by 6. Now you get up at 7:15 to 7:30. Was it easy to switch that off, Anthony? Because sometimes I just jolt awake at 5:30 in the morning. Played in coach sports from 18 to 40. To stop you putting a ton of weight. Yeah, it's tough. People's metabolisms and habits and eating and exercising, difficult, always difficult. Yes. Hi, I will explore your layout. If it's there and in video form, I will explore it. Trains, kits, etc. I go to sleep about 8, 9 a.m. Wake at 2. 9 wake at 2. Looking after the 3-month-old. 3-month-old? Wait. Till 9 p.m. Head to work at 10. Finish at 7. Go home. Spend an hour with the baby, then go to sleep. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty busy. 6 days a week. Yes, babies and that. Don't eat too many burgers. Me? Yeah, I'm a real burger lover, but I've always mixed it up, Roy. It's never one thing for too long. We all get bored with food occasionally, so if you mix it up and keep it mixed up, then it should always remain fresh to you, I suppose. Yes, a couple of months. Well, I know some people who have got up at the same time every day of their working life and then just can't switch it off, which is a shame, really. And I suppose by the time they are able to turn it off, they're almost got one foot in the grave. You've got to go, Andy. Okay, Danny, thanks for coming. Always enjoy your input. Nice to have you here. I don't think you're going to Ali Pali, are you? Which is a shame because I'd love to see you there. But I will be going to Getz later on this year. So if we can have a meet up, that'd be just great. Brilliant, Danny. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, Getz isn't that far from me. I'm in Hertfordshire. Where's Milton Keynes is Bucks, I think, or Beds, one of the two. It's not a million miles away. It's only about 30 miles away from me, so should be able to get there okay. Thanks, Danny. Cheerio, mate. Work is being paid rather well to sit on your bum all night, most nights. Busy but not. I see. Okay. That's good. You've got up at 5 since the age of 12. No clock needed. Yeah, up at the cock at 5 o'clock, as they say. Yeah. Well, Tempest Fugit. Time flies. I'll let you answer that one, Anthony. Me, my main career was a telephone engineer. It's what I always wanted to do since the schoolyard. And I got there, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, plus all the knowledge that came with it, which is useful. See, when you're a BT engineer, you get to use tools like these needle nose pliers, which we used to call 81s, and that is a number one screwdriver made by, is it Paramo? Yeah, that one's a Paramo. But they also use a company called Footprint as well. And they're all dated. This one is vintage, hang on, I'll tell you. Vintage 1992. So I don't know if this can pick that up. But on all of these things, there's this white writing on there. So, yeah. And the tools are good enough to use literally for the rest of your life. Why didn't I give them all back? Because they skip them, that's why. They just take your tools and bung them in a skip. So, what a waste. Right, let me get back to the chat. Telephone engineer. Put you in a good place to wire a layout. Yes, very much so. To the point where I hardly have to think about it. I just have to think about the end result, and it just go. I can do autopilot, and it just happens. So, yeah, all very useful with that kind of thing. Knowing what kind of wire to use, how many strands, the electrical properties of it, drop in resistance, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I find that kind of thing. You sort of get blasé about it, but for some people who have never soldiered anything in their life, it can be a major thing, which will have them shaking violently at the thought of doing it. A teacher of English, history, German language, and mythology for 36 years. Yeah, that's some career, Anthony. Which is an element of why your live streams are so good. Because, how do I put this? You've got the intellect to back it up, which always helps. Which always helps. Yeah, it can be a mean scene being a teacher, though. It can be an utterly thankless task, but I have come across some very good ones. Particularly, my physics teacher was a great guy. His name was Alan Bohr. That's Baugh, not Bore. For those in the UK who know who William Woolard is, that was his style of putting it across. He could really do it in facts, and he had the moxie to do it as well. He had the delivery, and he was brilliant. So I've got to thank Alan Bohr for a career. And if he's out there on the remote idea that he's actually listening in, if he's still with us, yeah, his teaching had a profound effect on me. And he also knew what my limitations were, which is pretty good for a teacher. Yes. Transcripts, yeah, you're right, it does. yeah, it comes pretty natural to Anthony, which is why you can jump on and immediately feel at home, because you've got somebody in charge, uh, who's who can speak with authority on so many different levels. Nice clear rules, no religion, no politics. Let's have some fun. And yeah, Anthony does that with spades. So it's not that important that his trains are German and it's all three rail, AC. It doesn't matter. There's, as Anthony says himself, there's movement, and it's all interesting. You can watch each one of any one of 12 cameras and just absorb yourself. And you've got Anthony dead center, who's usually um, well informed of current events, past events, um, both technical, language. Yeah, it's great having somebody that can do that, and somebody we can defer to and just say, well, Anthony, what do you think? And then at least you're going to get a decent answer, uh, one that's reasoned. You worked for asbestos removal, demolition, oil tank cleaner, amongst other things. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. As long as it wasn't a cesspit or anything like that, Anthony. But even then, it's amazing what you can get used to. Imagine the things I've seen as a caretaker. Let's not go there. Lives well lived. Okay, Roy, thanks for coming. Really good to have you aboard. Love the videos. Keep them going, mate. Yeah, see you again next time. Thanks, Roy. So I'm building electron microscopes. Field engineer to repair computers. Senior tech support. Yeah, that's great. What a career. Fabulous. Yeah, when you think of how many people are doing model railways and what the range of their expertise is, both current and former, it's quite astounding, really. I mean, I still fly model aeroplanes, and the guys I fly them with, some of my friends are research scientists, and doctors of this, that, and the other. Um, how it gets to the point where you've got an idiot like me who's hobnobbing with scientific royalty is little short of incredible. Bernie, how are you, mate? Oil tank cleaning was pretty nasty. Yeah, I'll bet. Um, that must have been a real thankless task. Well, what do you think, Bernie? You should be able to hear all the clickety clack if I shut up long enough when the trains come round. I'll give you a bit of warning. Thanks for popping in, James. Really appreciate it. Great having your input. Love your live streams. Yeah, keep at it, mate. No system, Bernie. This is straight onto YouTube Studio. There is no interface, no platform. It's just, it is what it is. One camera. Yeah, that's it. It's the bare bones. I'll only go with the bare bones until I feel confident enough to do anything else. Yeah, it is joyous and funny. Um, the live streams are great for connecting with other people, whereas we only would have ever saw them at exhibitions. And would you necessarily have conversed with them? Only if you both found something you liked. But yeah, it's a great hobby, and there's some great people involved. Thanks, James. I'm not sure that's the. Um, I'm not sure that's the full truth, Anthony. I think you know enough to get by in the model rail world. You know what's good and what's not, which for anybody that can be that discerning, is great. You know what appeals to you and what doesn't appeal to you. Oh, that's Prism, correct, Bernie? Not Prison, Prism, but Prism, Prism. It's very good and simple to use, great. But if I was going to do that, I'd do a load of private streams that you would never see, and I would go through every little tiny bit of it, be able to put my finger on what I want to do in whatever case of whatever emergency. That's just the way I operate. Prism Live Studio, yeah, yeah. I did a little bit of research about it as soon as Jason mentioned it, um, and it's South Korean based, I believe. Hang on a minute, let me grab you for a second. Okay, Anthony, that's where the hat lives up there on a hook, and that had two wasps in it on that web live stream that I did. I didn't realise until I took it off that they were in there, but they were. Here I am. Actually, if I tilt you forward a bit, like this, and then relegate myself over this way a little. You can still see the trains over yonder, and I'm that much closer to the live chat. I should be looking up here where the camera is, but I'm sort of looking down there. Now, this is just in artificial light. If I, as it's getting nice and bright outside at the moment, I'm going to alter the angle of the blinds. Let's see what kind of difference this makes. Right, that's that one. And I'll do the other one over here. And that one. That should have brightened it up considerably. So as you can see, yeah, we're getting quite a bit of sunlight now. And it's burnt a lot of the mist off because it was very misty and foggy this morning and quite damp. Do I want to try the system using last night? Good and simple to use. Prism Live Studio. That was scary. What was scary, Bernie? Got to leave for a meeting in 5 minutes. Finish your day in 45 minutes. Okay, hi. Thanks for coming along. Much appreciated. Great that you could spend the time here with us. Excellent. It's an OBS clone, but simplified, less basic options, easier to get started with multi-camera production. Yeah. Oh, my hat. Scary. Right. I'm just checking it for intruders. It actually says medium on it. Got a jaunty angle. Or, dude. Well, they were in the hat when I put it on. I just grabbed it off the hook and put it on. I didn't look in it. But I had no sensation of anything crawling on the top of my head. It was only when I took it off that one of them flew out. And I thought, oh, wasps! And there was another one in here. So what did I do with them? Yeah, I squished them. On the premise that there's a lot more where that came from. I did actually ask a biochemist friend of mine what on earth are wasps good for, and apparently they eat detritus. That's what they do. That's their main purpose in life, in the universe and everything. So I gather you're off for another couple of days. Is that right, Ben? You see, I can do things like this now. I can sort of twist you around and pop it down like that. Well, it's great that you can hear the clickety-clack now and the background noise as a whole, because that's part of it. You can see it, but you can't hear it, which I always found a bit odd, because the two obviously go together. Pop you back to the front. There's another sign down there. I'll just tilt you forward a bit. Stop. Sound horn before entering. But I'm saying nothing about that. Well, what time is it now? Crumbs, it's gone 1 o'clock. It seems like 10 minutes. Apart from the weather changing drastically out there, it was misty this morning, as I say, but today, now it's brightened up a bit. And everything is peaceful and lovely. And I can't hear any screaming kids. Yeah, it's great. Love it. What I did for a living is off in the distance, and I've got the colour back in my cheeks, and I don't come home grey every day. So that's something. Yeah, I don't fancy doing things like work anymore. I feel like I've put in enough. Oh, I've just dragged this over. Forgive me a second. this here unit, this is the UK version of the CMX, or this is the version of the CMX is a version of this. It depends who did it first, but it's got a metal body. You've got a little filling gauge on the end there, which you have to leave open because it's a tiny little hole, which allows air to get in and the thing to drip out underneath. Under there is a spring which drops into this sponge, and that's got what effectively is like a very thin chamois leather under there. Double bogey arrangement. I don't think this is as heavy as the CMX, but hey ho. I haven't seen anything come up in the chat. Let me just go on to live chat, just in case I've missed anything. I haven't. Can somebody tell me why they have live chat and top chat? What's that about? Is it an unnecessary extra? I don't get it. Anyway, that's what I use for track cleaning. It takes a little bit of setting up, but yeah, it's quite a weighty unit, and you need a powerful locomotive to pull it round. But you fill it with half a tank of IPA. It drips down onto this pad, and you just run it around your track. Anyway, that's the Sharge, SHARGE UK track cleaning unit. There's a plug for you, Sharge. Right, back on the turntable. It's in the turntable well. Right, guys, it is now 20 past 1. I'd say this was a fairly successful test. We've managed to get the background noise going, and I'm getting really hungry. So I'm going to shoot off and have some lunch. Ben, are you coming on later? Can you just write that in the stock? Is that yay or nay, Ben? Earth calling crew, is there anybody there? Well, Ben, if you are coming on later, I'm not seeing anything new come up in the live chat. Here we go. You should get some breakfast yourself. Yes, we all should. We should get something to eat. I'm going to call it a day there, and thank you all for coming. Much appreciated. I'll leave the stream going for a tiny while, just in case Ben's doing something else. But Ben did say he was going to do a slot later on today. Yeah. Going to test Prism. I'm going to test Prism now. Testing it offline this morning. Okay, brilliant. I'll cut this short here. Go and get something to eat. If you are going to do a test, then I'll jump on. Anything you want to test, I'll help you beta test it. Thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate everybody with their helping hand. It's a wonderful community headed up by our wonderful Mr. Dodge. Another plug. Well, hey, why not? And Ben, of course, who's going to step in and do a live at 8. Oi! Yes, 8 o'clock tonight. Look forward to that. I'll get something to eat, play some more trains, and if you want to do some testing in the meantime, Ben, I'll be online and I'll try and pick you up. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much indeed, and I'll say our Wiedersehen, Tschüss, and happy trains. So long.